Hey folks, Scully Nomad here, hope you are well. Now I had a few of you asking a few questions about the boat, so I thought I'd do another tour video and include the exterior this time. The company who built the boat is called Jeanneau, which is a French company, and they've been working on production boats since 1957. My one is called a Jeanneau Sun Odyssey 40. So you got the brand, which is Jeanneau, and then the model is Sun Odyssey, and the 40 refers to its size in feet. It's just shy of 12 meters long, which is similar to a double-decker bus. Now I'll throw up some specs here for you. Now I'd really appreciate if you'd like the video. It does take a while for me to put these together. Now the model that I have is the 3-cabin version, so I've got 2 beds at the back, 1 at the front, and then the sofa in the middle. The table drops down to make another double bed. Now let's take a look inside. So as you can see from the back here, we have a twin helm system. So it's one of the earliest models to actually include the twin helm. I do like the open space and the visibility. So as we go down into the companionway, you can see the layout here. Now here's the kitchen. So we'll just do a quick walkthrough of the boat. So as we pan around, you can kind of see the kind of size in here. And there's the famous coffee machine that goes on tour with me, of course. And for the most part, this is the kind of main area that I sleep in. Now, I absolutely love my boat. It's very spacious. I've had 17 people on here for a party once, like both inside and out, which was very cozy, that's for sure. Now, as we go into the back cabin, so the 2 back cabins are basically identical. This is pretty much where I keep my dinghy and paddleboard and a few of my tools. So the camera does make it look a bit smaller than it actually is, but it is still pretty cozy in there. And here's the shower room slash bathroom. Now I do plan to change the toilet to the electric one.
Alright, welcome to the V-Berth everybody. So it starts off as pretty much a single bed and then goes to a king size bed. So the boat is about 4 meters at its widest point. So it does go quite beamy, quite quick, which is why you got the volume on there. Let me just lie down like a starfish. So I can just about touch either side. Now I am 5'11". And if I got my feet right at the back on the wooden panel there, then I've got basically an arm length to the edge of the mattresses. Above me here is an escape hatch and also for ventilation. This is looking to the back of the boat. So I got a bigger mirror. The original one went to about here. And I can clip the door onto here.
Now the boat has a lot of storage that you can see, like these hanging lockers, and then there's a few shelving units around. For example, along the V-berth here, there's a little gap there, so you can't really keep too much there, but I tend to keep like bottles of water and stuff. Me lying the other way, so you can kind of see the double hanging locker there, the storage underneath with a little desk.
Now it does get quite cold in the V-berth, so I do use an electric blanket, which I can use at anchor, or if I'm off the grid, if I've got enough battery. And the plug can reach into where my inverter outlet is. And then I have an oil-filled radiator which kind of takes the edge off on there, but my plan is not to be here for next winter, so January to April I'll be abroad. Not on the boat, probably like backpacking or something.
Now if you guys have any suggestions, that'd be wonderful. I've already been to India for 6 months, around Vietnam, Cambodia, Thailand. I've been to the Middle East as well, so if you think of any affordable places, let me know.
Alright, so this is the back cabin. Now if I was cruising with a crew, then this would be inflated and on the deck, opening the whole bunk up, and I would also not have to save the pressure cooker here and make it a bit more available, but I do more or less single hand. Now I do like my own personal space, so you know, I do like doing my own thing, so this is why I don't really have crew on board very often. Now underneath this bunk is the fuel tank, so I hold 140 litres of diesel. On the other side there is one of the 2 water tanks, and in total I hold around 300 litres of water. And then these side panels, they all come off and I have full access to the engine.
Cabins are pretty spacious and they do have their own hanging lockers and storage space, but let's head back to the head and let's show you around. Now it is more spacious than it looks, and I am filming using a GoPro wide angle lens. Let me show you how things work. So this is the tap, naturally, but it also sprays onto the shower. So what you do is you press the little button on the top to go between the two. And then if you want to shower, what you do is you just pull it out the little socket there and then hang it up at the top.
Now this bench does go up and it locks. So basically if you're a rolly anchorage or you just want to wash your feet or something, you can just sit down. Most of the time it is up. Now just underneath the carpet there's a drain, and I just press this and it will pump whatever the water is on the floor out. This is what a marine toilet looks like. So I'm planning to get a fancy electric one instead. Now the way it works is you just put the lever to the left and then you pump it up and down, and basically it takes water from the outside, puts it into the bowl and kind of cycles it, and to empty the bowl you put it over to the right side and then just pump out, and all the stuff from inside will go outside, or the holding tank depending which your setup is. If you do leave it over on this side it will fill the bowl up.
Now I added this tube heater because I don't have an outlet for a diesel heater in here. I do plan to add one. And then of course I got my shower bag which goes everywhere with me, as I pretty much live in hotels. Now for reference for the shower, just goes up there. I tend to kind of peg the hose just behind the bench there, and then there I am. And again I am 5'11", and I've got basically a fist size between the shower head up there, if you can see it, just on there. And then alright, then this is on the toilet. As you can see, I can put my feet all the way out. There is space there. And then I've installed the toilet roll holder just here, which is a waterproof one. Now it's the bathroom. Now, assuming this is the first time to the channel, so this is my Sage Barista Express that goes everywhere with me. That's why it's missing parts. But the boat does have tons of storage, so I have some stuff underneath there. The majority of the electronic panel is up here, so I added this USB charger and cigarette lights charger to charge my phones and tablet. I have a Vitron battery monitor and a Chinese diesel heater, along with a DAB digital radio. The radio is just for entertainment, so it's not really anything to do with boat communications. It works pretty well, but the Bluetooth range isn't that great, so the moment I take the phone out, it cuts off. Now next to it you have the VHF radio for communications. Now the wire is a little bit damaged there and I do need to replace it, so when I replace it I'll change the boat name. Now above it, the Raymarine chart plotter is broken, so we bounced off a few waves and it stopped working. And I also have radar on the boat, but it doesn't really work that well. This control panel is how I kind of isolate all of the electrics. So the top here where it says 12 volt, that comes from the batteries, and then these ones down here come from the shore power. Now when I'm plugged into the power, I can use the water heater. The other way to heat the water is by running the engine, so there's two ways there. It's the same with the battery charger. Now because I'm in shore power, I can just flip that over and charge the batteries if I need to, but I do have some solar which I'd like to add to. And then this is the AC plug, so the radiator, for example, and the coffee machine will only work when the shore power is plugged in. Up here they're all kind of labelled individually, so the idea is, like, because every amp counts, you can turn the ones that you need on and off. So for example, during the day you don't need nav lights on. There is a gas safety system on board, so if there's any gas leaks the detector will go off. Now the bench there is for when you're doing your charts, but it's not very comfortable. I'm kind of thinking of maybe changing it to like a gaming chair and changing the desk a little bit, but not really too sure. There's storage behind there, in here, behind, underneath the seats. So there's lots of storage that you may not be aware of. So behind all of the cushions, they all lift off and there is all storage. This table does drop down to make another double bed, but what I've done is I've put one of the wooden slats along with an extra bit of wood to make this kind of long bench, so that way when I'm gaming I can sit there nice and comfortably, like so. Now for the most part this is the way I sit, so I'm over on the extension bit that I added, and it makes it really comfortable, so especially when I'm gaming. If you're wondering what this black mat is here, it is actually a gaming mat, and the reason that it's there is because I've noticed that I'm actually wearing away the varnish when I'm gaming, so that's why it's there.
This cupboard here has the booze in it, and it has the Xbox controller and gaming headphones. So if there's a storm in here, for example, rather than listening to the wind and the noise, I'll just have the headphones on. And then the bottles, to stop them clanging, have these nets on them, and I got them from some kind of fruit from the supermarket. As we slide along the bench, so the storage here. Now I've got a dehumidifier that I do recommend you have on board a boat, and there's cupboards here again with storage in there, and there's storage behind here and all along the cupboards there. Now this is the galley. I've added one of these filter taps in, which is the left one, and I've got a double sink. This door here is the fridge, and the fridge goes all the way down to the bottom of the floor, so it's around 140 litre fridge. And then you got the oven with 2 burners on there. Here's one I made earlier. In those 3 cupboards there's lots of different foods, and that's where I also keep the plates. And then above there's storage where I've put anti-slip mat.
Let's check out the exterior of the boat. So as we step on board, you can notice the twin helms there, along with the chart plotter in the middle. And as we step up over the deck, you can see how tidy it is, except for my solar panel wiring. And you can kind of grasp the size of the boat. Now I changed the anchor to a Rocknet anchor because they had excellent reviews. It's connected to a swivel and 50 meters of chain, which is in the chain locker, and it uses a quick windlass to get it up. I have 50 meters of chain, which is in a silicone bucket, which helps it stop rubbing against the hull, and I've put a few little holes to help it drain. So I don't lose the anchor and the chain. It's connected to a line that's connected to the boat, which is 2 meters long. And the switch there lowers and pulls up the anchor.
Now as I make these videos just for fun and for everybody, so this roller furling drum here,
what it does is it helps you roll the front sail in and out. So people call it the jib, Jeanneau, or head sail. So from the cockpit, you just undo this line at the bottom here, and then you just simply pull on one of the jib sheet lines. So as I was filming, somebody decided to get the pressure washer out, so I decided to switch over to a voiceover. To stop it coming out while I'm away, it's locked in the drum, but then it's also on the jammer. So you can see they're all named. Well, most of them anyway, and then you've got the different coloured lines, so I can trace that back to the front. So the way I'd release it is I'd open that up, push that down, and then I would roll it out using either these lines here on the drum or this side, depending on the wind. Now on the V-berth I've got 2 hatches, so this one also doubles as an escape hatch. And you've got a small one there for ventilation. So the V-berth starts basically at the edge of the anchor locker around here and goes all the way up to about here. I'll quickly show you some of my solar setup. So this is just kind of my floating panel to help get the sun a little bit better. It's a 175 watt one by Renogy. And then a little bit further on I have a fixed panel which I can pivot towards the sun a little bit. So there's a couple of hinges at the front, and then at the back there's a little lock to unlock it. Now I don't have enough solar power for my needs, especially on a lovely cloudy day like it is there, but with this one I will add a gas strut on the other side to help it. Eventually I will add a solar arch to add to the collection, but at the moment it's not exactly a priority of mine. Now my boat has something called In-Mast furling. So it works similar to what the front jib is like, except it's within the mast itself. So what I've done to make it easier for myself is I upgraded the blocks. So these are the Lumar ones with the bearings inside. They were previously this style, but basically the idea behind these ones is they lubricate while they're under load, and then it's a bit easier for you to get them in and out. Now the way I get mine out is, this is the one that goes into the bottom of the mast. So I'll loosen that out and I'll have it on the bench here. And then with this red one here, that's the out haul, which connects to the end of the sail there. Now what I would also do is I put the boom, which is that, over onto this side. So to do that I would unlock this one, pull this line, and it will help the boom come over to this side with a little bit of the main sheet off. To help this sail shake out, I'll also undo the vang, which is that metal post there, which allows the boom to flap a little bit, so it helps shake it out a little bit. Just to recap, so we would have the in-haul loose, we would have the kicker loose, we would have the boom on the port side, and the out-haul around the winch ready to go. And then we would have the wind just on the starboard side, just off about 5 to 10 degrees. And that will help the main sail unwind. When it comes to instruments, I did add these. Now I wanted to see all the chart plotter and the instruments from wherever I was in the cockpit, and the chart plotter's on a swivel mount. There's a fair amount of storage in the cockpit, so that locker there and the one opposite it opens up and has storage. This here is my gas locker, which holds 7 kilogram butane tanks. And then here is where my cleaning stuff, which obviously I've not used for a little while. The boat does have a shower on the back of the boat, so once you've gone swimming in the sea, you can rinse yourself off, and it does have hot water. And then to get yourself on board, once you've been swimming, you got the ladder there, which I tend to leave out when people are drunk. And here's an overview of what it looks like. So I've got the outboard engine there for the dinghy. I've got a few lifelines to throw at people if anyone does fall in. And you can see with all the instruments, you can basically see them from pretty much wherever you would be inside the cockpit. Next to the starboard helm, you've got the instruments here. The one on the right is the auto helm, which will hold the course that you're on. And then here is the kind of depth and speed reader for the boat, so you know how the depth and the speed for the boat is going. And here's a view from the main helm, so again you can see all the instruments right there. And this is the visibility I have when stood up. Thanks for watching, guys. I'd really appreciate if you subscribe. This is what a kind of editing bit looks like, so it does take a lot of time. So even if you just like the video, it would be really helpful. Thank you. As always, I love reading your comments, questions and feedback, and of course just let me know what you want to see. Now, a lot of the content that I've done, which has been pretty well and well received, has been around my car, which is held together with duct tape and hope. If you are a subscriber, you would have seen that. I do go on quite a few adventures and I work all over the UK. So although I don't have full-time access to the boat, I do plan to go on quite a few trips, especially next year. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being fans.